The door opened by itself. Old Bai thought, oh, another weird night, rushing in, empty inside. In the center of the room stood a feast fit for a king, making Old Bai's stomach rumble. He suspected Old Kiwi was throwing a rage. Just as he was about to blow up, Old Kiwi waltzed in, freshly returned from the bar. Old Bai quipped, "You're practically a wine god." Old Bai's heart raced, suppressing his fury, as he warned Old Kiwi not to go outside again at night. Old Kiwi waved it off. Old Kiwi suddenly turned serious, claiming he knew two recently deceased geezers who were fit as fiddles. It just didn't add up. How could they die? Especially on a Wednesday, it's like they were in a macabre schedule or something. Old Kiwi glanced at the calendar and mused, another Wednesday. Does that mean we're due for another oldie tonight? Old Bai felt a chill run down his spine, thinking he was no spring chicken either, and being single only made it creepier. He hurriedly took his leave. Speaking of girlfriends, single guys should give app a whirl. It's got all kinds of ladies lined up. As he left, he noticed the broken doorknob and turned around to say, "Don't forget to come fix this in the morning." The moment he stepped up, the door creaked open silently. Old Kiwi thought it was just the wind and hurried to shut it. Little did he know. The next morning, Old Bai came to change the locks, but when he didn't see Old Kiwi, his heart sank, prompting him to peek inside. To his horror, he spotted two legs. He dashed inside, feeling his heart drop like a lead balloon. Just then, a social worker happened to stumble in, caught sight of Old Kiwi's deceased state, and screamed in terror, turning pale as if they'd seen a ghost. This quickly drew a crowd, who mourned Old Kiwi, saying things like, "He was such a good soul." They babbled about how Old Kiwi was old and jobless, while Old Bai kept hounding him for rent, cornering him like a rat. Truth is, Old Bai had a sharp tongue but a soft heart. He hounded them for rent, but understood their plight. He never cut off water or power for late rent, nor did he kick anyone to the curb. So why the misunderstanding? They even called him cold-blooded, claiming he could scare people to death over rent. Even the local diner kicked Old Bai out, not letting him eat. The owner chased him down, yelling like a banshee. Once a slightly wealthy landlord, Old Bai now found himself donning the murderer hat. What a twist. The locals quickly ostracized him, but Old Bai thought, these poor folks have their quirks. Their thinking is really out there. After all, those old geezers weren't contributing, so at least he wouldn't be shelling out for their utilities, but the injustice gnawed at him. Frustrated, Old Bai bolted to Old Quiz Place, wanting to find the truth, only to be ambushed as soon as he walked. A stranger seized his shoulder and swiftly knocked him down with a near-perfect flying kick, immediately followed by a tight chokehold around his throat. "This is the end for me." The guy released Old Bai and started rummaging through Old Quiz things, finding a passport and a plane ticket. It turned out, in 3 days, Old Quiz's son was coming to take him abroad. The old guy had plans to escape. As Old Bai kept asking questions, he discovered the guy choking him was actually Old Quiz buddy, Do Cheng. That sumptuous feast was Old Quiz farewell dinner for Do Cheng. Do Cheng, a retired cop, regaled Old Bai with chilling tales of a similar case from 30 years ago. The killer targeted helpless old folks to practice on, faking their deaths. It was downright horrific. That case caused a stir back then, but since victims were nobodies, it was swept under the rug. The killer vanished without a trace. Do Cheng firmly believed that a long-haired girl would meet her doom this Wednesday. Old Bai dismissed it as nonsense, but upon returning home, Mei Zhen from Unit 205 sought to move out thanks to the body count. She had long black hair, but Old Bai was too busy fretting over her lease termination to notice the brewing storm. Mei Zhen worked at a textile factory, wearing herself out for peanuts while sending money back home for her mom's medical bills. Old Bai understood her plight, always letting her slide on rent, though Mei Zhen felt guilty about it. Mei Zhen wished to avoid going home as it made her feel miserable, but Old Bai empathized with her feelings. She felt an indescribable sorrow, a vague sense of loss hung in the air. Still, Mei Zhen believed Old Bai was innocent, which warmed his heart. So, Old Bai kept an eye on her, only to discover her friend was living there too. This new roommate was mooching on utilities, and Old Bai had no clue, so he warned Mei Zhen to get her out ASAP, otherwise she'd be charged extra rent. Mei Zhen nodded, but when she returned from work, her room was a disaster zone. Thinking her friend was just drunk again, she walked into the bathroom only to find her motionless over the toilet. To her absolute horror, her friend's throat was wide open, her hands dripping with blood. Mei Zhen stumbled backwards in shock, falling to the ground in terror. Moments ago, a man followed her friend in planning to kidnap her. Seeing her blonde hair, he changed his mind and struck. Seeing her friend's fate, Mei Zhen grabbed her phone, ready to call the cops. But just then, a foot emerged from behind the bathroom curtain as the lights flickered out. After dismembering, the killer contemplated wrapping up with Mei Zhen when the doorbell rang unexpectedly. He halted in the middle of his action, pondering nonchalantly, who in the world could that possibly be? If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe for more hilarious tales.